Hello, everyone, and welcome to Using Epic for Reading Instruction. My name is Sky Blue, and I will be your host today. I am a first grade teacher at Williams Elementary. I am self contained, teaching all subjects. As far as my technology in the classroom, um, I have access to 4 of the district Chromebooks, as well as 7 iPads. My teacher iPad I sometimes use for Epic if I need an extra one, and my i3 computer. I also have access to a computer lab. The nice thing about Epic is it is available as an app on the iPad, but it also has its own website. The only downside with the website, which I'll show you in a little bit, is you do have to log in your information on the student computers. So I don't use it on the computers as much. Joining us today as moderator is Nina Diwali. She is a 3rd grade teacher at Spring Creek Elementary. So she will be helping with any questions while I'm hosting. So we'll go ahead and get started here. I will go ahead and share my screen. All right. So move that down. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and open a new tab. Now, just real quick information. This webinar is not really designed to help you sign up and add classes to Epic. I did a webinar last year. So if you want to access that webinar, I'll show you how to do that real quick. If you are logged into Chrome, the browser, you have access to the staff apps over here. And if you click on that, a whole menu pops up of apps that we have access to as Garland ISD staff. And down here it says Digital Learning Website. When you click on that, you'll have access to all of the digital learning webinars that i3s have done. And so you can just go here, go to Learning on Demand, and you'll have access to the recorded webinars. So you just go in there and search Epic, and you'll be able to find the previous webinar. I'm not going to challenge my computer too much. It's been moving a little slow. So we'll go ahead and get started. The website, don't just type in Epic. It is getepic.com. And so when you type that in, it will take you to the home page. So let's see if that will load. I might already be logged in, so we'll see. So it will take me to a different home page. No, this is the original home page. So the wonderful thing about Epic, if you haven't used it before, is it's free for educators. So you can set up an account all you want, add as many students as you need to. I used Epic when I taught 2nd grade, and I actually switched and had about 40 students. And so I was able to have separate accounts for 40 kids. So you're able to put in your students, and each student has their own unique profile. And it's totally free to educators. You can then invite parents, and they can have access to Epic at home for like a monthly fee. And they give you a discount if you get an invite from a teacher. So I know as far as my student accounts, they have access until about 4 p.m. And then after that, I have to log in for them, or they have to have their own paid account. So since we've already signed up, I'm going to go ahead and just sign in. If you want to sign up, you would start with that Get Started tab. And the format has changed since I did the last webinar. So it does look a little bit different, but once you sign up, they have great resources on your homepage. They have a little walkthrough where you can become a certified teacher, where they have like tasks for you to do. And then they have some activities here for you to do where you can add students to your roster, where the students can go to download the app, and then as students enter the class code. And then if you scroll down here, if you're having any trouble in this webinar or any of the previous webinars haven't been able to answer your questions, they have resources here. So they have a quick start guide, a full guide, a back to school night presentation. So it's a presentation already made for your back to school night to inform parents of what EPIC is. And something I haven't really looked into that much is the lesson plans. So that might be something worth looking into. So if we go here, this is the teacher dashboard, but we can look and see what EPIC has. They have Explore. Now, EPIC has thousands of books, and they have them in different formats. They have books that are, just straight up picture books for the students to read. Let's see while it's still loading. They have books where it will read to the students, which is really great for my low readers and at the beginning of the year when most of my students still aren't reading. So the book will read to them. So that's if it's down here and it has a green that says read to me. The book reads to them and it highlights words as it's reading. And so it's really good for teaching that like one-to-one correspondence. They have collections that people have already made. Another great thing about EPIC is they do have books in Spanish and I believe Chinese, because I know we have the Mandarin classes too. I just don't know how much reading y'all do. These, they don't have the read to me, so they're just books where the students will read to themselves. They have variety of books from fiction to nonfiction. They also have learning videos. I believe some of them are from vocabulary as well. They have community collections that people have already put together, so those are really helpful. And then they have down here this purple where it says audiobook. It doesn't have any pictures. It doesn't have any words. It's just an audiobook like we would listen to. So no words for the kids to follow along and no pictures for them to look at. So I don't use this as much with my students, but if you have older kids, because they're mostly chapter books, if you have older kids, this would be great, especially if they do have that book and they do have maybe those accommodations where they are to be read to, say, oh, we actually find the physical Ready Freddy Tooth Trouble, and they can listen to the audiobook and read along. The student dashboards look a little bit different, so I'll show you those in a little bit, but there's a lot of stuff for teachers to go through. So how I use it instructionally is I'll use it as I'll put together collections for units. So we just finished our a nonfiction unit where we focused on biographies. And so down here you'll see like my continue reading. So these are books I've started. I'll make a collection of just age appropriate biographies. And how I determine if they're age appropriate is if you click on them. Since I had already started it and I'm already on a page, but they take you to this home page where they tell you an age range about how long it takes to read. And not all books have access to this, but some of them do, where you can find their Lexile level and AR level. So that's really good for making custom collections for students. And so what I would do is I would either assign this book, or sometimes I've even just displayed it in class on the big screen, and we'll use it as our read aloud in our shared reading and our balanced literacy. So Epic is one of those things that perfectly fits in to the balanced literacy model. So let me show you how to make it. Well, once you make a collection and once you've read a book, there's other things you can do, such as make a quiz. So you can edit a quiz. You as a teacher can edit a quiz, or you can take the quiz. So these are the things I'm about to show you. So our unit that we just started is a fiction unit, where we will be working on story elements and the 5-finger retell. And so I would be looking for fiction books, that especially ones that really lend towards story elements and retell. So for example, The Three Little Pigs. So I'll click on it. I always kind of check the book a little bit first. And so again, the age range is 5 through 7, which is pretty good for, let me pause that. It automatically starts reading. 5 to 20 minutes. Age range is 5 to 7, which is perfect for first grade. It doesn't give me Lexile or AR levels. You can flip through the book. And so I'll go here and I'm looking. The text is a little small. But as you can see, I clicked on it, and so now it's reading to me, and it's highlighting the words that are reading. Another feature that it has is you can select a word, and it will come up with vocabulary, what it means, different types of ways it can be used. And so that's another thing you can do, like with your higher kids, is they can look at and identify vocabulary. So let's say we'll do wicked. If it'll let me click on it. Okay, it won't let me click on wicked. The menu's too close. Okay, so let's say bundle. So you can have your older students, click on a few choice words that you've looked through, and they can identify certain vocabulary. So as you read through the book and you determine, okay, this is a good book, it leads towards retell, you can go in and you can create a new quiz for the book. So we'll start by making a collection. So where you see here, there's looks like 2 books kind of together, and it makes a plus. That's how you create a collection. The heart is how you add a favorite, and then they have another menu here where you can access other information. So let's go ahead and decide I'm going to make a fiction collection. And you can make a collection for however you want. You can make just a general collection for your whole class. You can make leveled collections. Let's see if it'll. It's having some trouble loading it. Oh. Okay. So you can make leveled collections, and once you create a collection, you can actually assign them to either your whole class or specific students. So I'm going to create a new collection, and we'll name it Fiction Retell. And You can add a description. So I believe this was unit. So I can go in and specify what unit it is because, looking at our curriculum, we start the year with fiction and then we revisit it. So this is actually unit 7. And so I can actually include that in the title. So the students know to access unit 7 fiction. You can choose to share with the EPIC community so other people have access to this collection. So then you can go ahead, let's say, you do the reading lesson plans. And so you're in charge of the reading lesson plans. You go ahead and put in the work to create this collection. If you share it with the EPIC community and your partner teachers have access to it, you can go ahead and share, and they have access to that collection so they can assign it to their students as well. So once you type in your name, you just create the collection, and a little icon pops up, and it will add it to the collection. So after you've added books to the collection, you can either give students tasks for them to, answer questions in their reader's journal. So you can say, all right, do a 5-finger retell for the book you chose today. And so then kids can pick their own book in this collection, and then they do a 5-finger retell. Something else you can do is create a quiz. So to do that, you click on the question marks, and it'll ask for a quiz title. And so you can say 3 Little Pigs Retell. And you start by adding your first question. So we're really working on story elements. And so I might start with a question about the story elements. So who are the main characters in this story? Or if you want to make it more testing appropriate, you can change it to text. So however you want to word it, however your school wants you to word it, if they want you to make sure it's kind of vertically aligned and students are exposed to that testing vocabulary so that they're used to it, it's awesome. So you start by typing in the correct answer. And so, not that I've read this specific book, but we'll say 3 pigs and a wolf. And then I might identify some characters that might be distractor questions. So like 3 pigs and the man with sticks. And so, and then I can give up to multiple answers. So then I would click done. In it, I have the option to add another question. The thing about the quizzes is I don't usually use them because they don't read the quizzes to the kids. And so some of my lower students might not be able to really answer the questions. So I like to have them do a response on a graphic organizer or something in their reader's notebook, and then I'll give them maybe a word bank for the students who need the extra help. So after you finish your quiz, you can publish it, you can take it, or you can delete it. I'm going to go ahead and delete this one since I made it public. So, so you want to add more books. So you can go in, and another way I usually look for books is I'll access the curriculum. And a lot of the times within the curriculum, at least for first grade and for second grade, which those are the curriculums I'm familiar with, you're able to look at suggested books, which they don't always have. the books you selected. For example, I think this one they want us to read a lot of Kevin Hinckley's. So if I search for Kevin, see if I spelled his name right. No, I probably spelled his name wrong. So I can look and see there's somebody who has already made a collection. So unfortunately, they're all audiobooks, but fortunately, my library usually has access to these. And so if I have students who want to read Owen, I'll usually check a few of those books out from the library and have them in my classroom, and be able to so that they can use the physical book and listen to the audiobook. And they have them also like both in English and Spanish. So that's a great thing because I know a lot of you bilingual teachers are lacking some reading resources. So this is really good. I mean, the selection's not as broad and it's probably lower level. So you probably really won't have access like as far as fourth grade and third, fourth, and fifth grade using it for Spanish, but it's a great resource. Okay, so then I've created a collection. I've put books in it. So I'm gonna go, and something I can do is assign reading activities. Let's see. See, there's a couple different ways you can do it. There you go. So if you go to, this is the easiest way. If you go to My Library, you're able to see the Unit 7 Fiction Retail. And if you go, you can sit here and go to Assign. You can also share it. And if you click on that share, you can share with an Epic teacher, share it with email, Pinterest, or it gives you a link. So you're able to share it with your team then. As far as assigning, again, like I said, if you want to do like a level system where you actually have leveled books for each of your groups of students, you just select individual students. If you want to assign it to all of them, you click select all and assign. And there you go. That collection is now assigned to the students. If you want to add more books later, it's pretty easy. All you have to do is go to edit, or let's say you found a new book while you were exploring, you just add it to that collection. Trying to think. I don't think it automatically updates, so you might have to reassign it to the students. So they're able to do that. Now, how that looks to the students. So you can go to student login. And so this is what you would do if you have to log in on a computer, is you have to actually log in on your teacher account, and then it will take you to that dashboard and you have to go to student logins. So I have a guest account, so we'll go ahead and click on the guest account. Oh, and I'm at the point to where it won't let me use it because it's after 4 o'clock. So it's not giving me an option. It used to give you an option about logging in. So anyways, well, let's make me sign into my teacher dashboard. So on the app, there's actually like a menu to the side, and how students access your collection is there will be like a mailbox with a red exclamation point. And when students click on that, they're able to access the collection. And so my mailbox just has, what makes Epic so engaging is, students can like your collection, students can earn badges, you earn certificates for your students. um, stuff like that. I mean, some of these are from kids I had a long time ago. So 700 days ago, it says he wants to read it at home. And so, um, anyways, those are a couple of ways that I use it in classroom. It's a really good way for like independent reading, especially for those students who don't have a high enough reading to be able to read on grade level. We're kind of winding down here. We've got about 3 minutes left. So if you have any questions, please just type them in the chat box. I'm looking at it right now. Let's see. So I'm not seeing any questions. So I'll go ahead and show a couple more things. And Nina, if you could go ahead and put in the CPE link so people can get credit for when they watch this. And I'll end it in about 3 minutes. But for the last 3 minutes, I'll show you some other cool things that you can do, or just other cool features that it has. All right, so I see that the CPE link just popped up, so we're good. You know, if you look here, like sometimes just going on the Explorer, I find new stuff every time I look at it. You could honestly spend a couple hours looking at all that they have. Some stuff that my students really like is they like the wrestling books and stuff like that. Let's see. So they have some comics, which it looks like the students would be having to read themselves, but I know those older kids really do like those comics because they do like the pictures. Oh, Bo Obama. So that's cool. You can look through more. So let's say they have just Chinese books, so you just want books in Chinese or books in Spanish. And then they have different subjects. So we can look at some of the Spanish books, which they have some read to me ones. So, yeah, some good resources there. So, oh, look, these are actually bilingual. So I know for those, kinder first and second with your Gomez to Gomez, exposing students to both would be very helpful. So, just have fun with it. I mean, I've been a part of Epic for 3 years and I'm finding new stuff every day. So don't be afraid to mess with it. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and say thank you for joining us. I hope you learned something in this webinar. And have a good rest of your day. Don't forget to click on that CPE link. All right, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. And go ahead and stop the broadcast. Thank you.